Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to learn English with a story. And because it's Christmas, I have written a special story just for you. It's my gift. It even has a little twist at the end, which means something surprising happens. So make sure you listen all the way through. As always, there will be a quiz after the story to check your understanding. It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to the story of the Christmas visitor. Snow pressed softly against the windows of the Whitmore house on Christmas Eve, 1943, as the family prepared for the night ahead. The home was warm, full of quiet voices and small movements. Mary Whitmore moved around the kitchen, checking pots on the stove. She was a calm, careful woman who always tried to keep the house peaceful. Tonight, she moved a little slower. Her mind was somewhere far away. In the living room, Thomas Whitmore sat in his tall wooden chair. He was a strong man in his 50s, with tired eyes and hands that showed years of factory work. He held a pipe between his fingers, unlit, just something to keep his hands busy. At the table, Jane, their grown daughter, folded napkins. Her husband, Edward, polished his glasses again and again, though they were already clean. Aunt Rose, Mary's older sister, knitted quietly by the fire, and Uncle David studied the radio, trying to fix a small crackling sound. The house was full, but someone important was missing. Harry. The eldest son, the soldier, the one they hadn't heard from for 3 long weeks. Mary set a dish down and sighed. "He always loved Christmas Eve," she said softly. Thomas looked up at her. "He still does," he said, but his voice didn't sound strong. It was the voice of a man trying to be the center of the family, trying to carry everyone's worries at once. They ate dinner. They talked about memories, not news. They opened small gifts, socks, hand cream, a book or two. Aunt Rose told a funny story from years ago, and everyone laughed politely. But each laugh felt slightly heavy. Later, they gathered around the fire. The tinsel on the tree sparkled slowly in the firelight, and music played softly from the radio. Snow fell outside in steady, quiet sheets. One by one, everyone said goodnight and went upstairs. Mary and Thomas stayed up a little longer, listening to the wind. Thomas stared at the fire. "He'll be fine," he said, as if saying it out loud made it true. Mary nodded, although her eyes filled with tears. They went to bed with the same silent hope. Please let him come home. On Christmas morning, a smell drifted through the house. Warm butter, fresh bread, and something sweet. Jane sat up first. "That can't be Mum," she said. "She never cooks this early." Edward smelt it too. "That's someone making breakfast." Down the hallway, Aunt Rose opened her door. "Is Mary cooking already?" she asked. "No," Mary said, stepping out of her room, confused. "I haven't gone downstairs yet." Thomas joined them, buttoning his shirt, a strange look on his face. "It smells like Harry's cooking, he said quietly. Everyone hurried down the stairs together. And then they stopped. There he was, Harry. Standing in the kitchen, cracking eggs into a hot pan, smiling at all of them. "Merry Christmas," he said, cheerful and bright. "I hope you're hungry." For a moment, no one spoke. Then the room exploded with voices. "Harry, you're home! When did you arrive? We missed you so much. Oh, thank God, Harry." Jane ran forward and hugged him. Aunt Rose reached out to touch his arm. Edward shook his hand and laughed with relief. Uncle David shouted, "Well, look who's finally back." Mary and Thomas stayed a step behind the others, watching. Mary covered her mouth, overwhelmed. Thomas's eyes shone, but he kept himself steady. Harry smiled at all of them. "Got in late last night," he said. "I didn't want to wake you. I figured breakfast would be a nice surprise." Mary noticed his voice was warm, but a little softer than before. Different. His smile seemed full, but his eyes were slightly distant, like he hadn't slept. Still, her son was home. That was enough. Harry spent Christmas Day with them as if he had never left. He walked through the snowy garden with Thomas, listening to his father talk about the factory, the neighborhood, the things Harry missed. Thomas spoke with energy, the most alive he had looked in months. Inside, Harry helped Jane prepare lunch. "How long can you stay?" she asked. "Just today," he said gently. "I have to return soon." "Oh," she whispered, disappointed. Aunt Rose told him about family news, the price of bread, and how the neighbor's dog kept stealing socks from the washing line. Harry laughed, but sometimes he paused, as if he forgot the joke halfway. Later, while pouring tea, he brushed his hand against the table, and Mary noticed a red mark on his wrist. "You're hurt," she said quietly. "Just a scrape," he answered too quickly, pulling his hand away. Her heart tightened, but she said nothing. In the afternoon, the family gathered around the radio for the King's Christmas speech. Harry sat with them, eyes half closed, the firelight flickering across his face. Mary watched him as the others drifted to sleep. His head tilted forward slightly, his breathing slowed. He looked peaceful. She tried to memorize that moment. Then sleep pulled her under too. Mary woke in her armchair. The fire was still glowing softly. Snow still fell outside. But Harry was gone. "Harry?" she called gently. No answer. She called out again and again as she walked around the kitchen and the dining room. She looked out into the garden, confused. Upstairs, Thomas checked the rooms. Edward looked outside. Aunt Rose searched the laundry room. Nothing. "He must have gone early," Thomas said, but there was something strained in his voice. Maybe he had to return to his unit. Mary nodded, but her stomach felt cold. Something wasn't right. She felt it in her bones. Just before evening, a single knock came at the door. Thomas opened it. A young officer stood there, face pale, eyes lowered. "Mr. Whitmore?" he asked. "Yes," Thomas said. The officer handed him a yellow telegram. Mary gasped. The room went silent. Thomas opened it slowly. His voice broke as he read. "Harry Whitmore, killed in action, 10th of December." Aunt Rose covered her mouth. Jane shook her head, whispering, "No, no." Mary stepped back, holding the side of the table. "But he was here," she said softly. "He was here today. He cooked breakfast. He walked with us. Her voice trembled. Thomas looked at her, tears falling freely now. "Mary, he wasn't here." She closed her eyes, but the memories crowded in. His distant eyes, his quiet moments, the strange red marks, his soft, fading voice. No footprints in the snow outside. A cold understanding washed over her. Harry had come home, but only for Christmas. Just once more. Here are some questions to see if you understood the whole story. Why was the Whitmore family worried about Harry at the beginning of the story? And the answer is they were worried because they hadn't heard from him, they hadn't had any news from him in 3 weeks while he was away at war. How did the family react when they found Harry cooking breakfast on Christmas morning? They were shocked, overjoyed, and ran to greet him with questions, hugs, and relief. How did Mary feel when she saw the red mark on Harry's wrist? She felt worried, but she didn't say anything. What did the telegram say when the officer arrived at the house? What did the telegram say when the officer arrived at the house? The telegram said that Harry Whitmore had been killed in action on the 10th of December. What did Mary Whitmore realize at the end of the story? What did Mary Whitmore realize at the end of the story? She realized that Harry hadn't physically been in the house, but that he had come home once more for Christmas in spirit. What clue made Mary understand that Harry hadn't really been there on Christmas Day? What clue made Mary understand that Harry hadn't really been there on Christmas Day? And the answer is, she remembered that he had made no footprints in the snow outside. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, could you please like and subscribe? It can be your Christmas gift to me. If you are celebrating, I wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I will see you all for a new video next week in the new year. If you want to do some more English with me today, then please join me in the next video. I'll see you there. Take care.